Welcome to Adaza video on inclusive education in South Africa. Education is a basic human right and should be available to all, regardless of their abilities or disabilities. According to the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, everyone is equal before the law and has the right to equal protection and benefit of the law. In terms of Section 29 of the Constitution, everyone has the right to a basic education, including adult basic education and to further education, which the state, through reasonable measures, must make progressively available and accessible. The White Paper on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities in South Africa also addresses various inequalities and exclusions of persons with disabilities in education. In December 2015, the country's first white paper on the rights of persons with disabilities was approved by Cabinet. The white paper is a call to action for government, civil society, and the private sector to work together to ensure the socio-economic inclusion of persons with disabilities. The White Paper acknowledges the deficits in access to education, not only at primary and secondary school level, but also at tertiary level education, which includes all post-school qualifications. The White Paper also acknowledges how persons with disabilities in rural areas were most severely affected, as well as the fact that children with severe difficulty in walking and communicating were the most marginalized in terms of access to secondary education. The majority of persons aged between 20 and 24 years of age with severe difficulties across all functional domains were not attending any tertiary institution. Only about 1/5 of persons with severe difficulties were attending tertiary educational institutions. Persons with severe difficulties had the worst educational outcomes. 5.3% had attained higher education, while 23.8% had no formal education and 24.6% had some primary education. Disability is linked to lack of education, which is linked to employment and income, which in turn determines the welfare of individuals and their households. According to the 2011 census, persons without disabilities generally earn a higher income than persons with disabilities. Among persons with disabilities, disability severity and the type of disability determines one's income. Unfortunately, over time, these statistics have got considerably worse, with a number of factors contributing to this lack of education for many persons with disabilities. This includes lack of accessible transport and lack of access to mainstream schools, as well as lack of resources such as assistive devices, technology, and trained teachers to support learners with disabilities. While this lack of access and inadequate education has also led to large public and social costs in the form of lower income and poor economic growth, reduced tax revenues and higher costs of healthcare, there is light at the end of the tunnel. The Education White Paper 6 on Special Needs Education outlines what an inclusive education and training system is and how they intend to build it. Key strategies required to achieve inclusive education include transforming all aspects of the education system, developing an integrated system of education, infusing special needs and support services throughout the system, pursuing the holistic development of centers of learning to ensure barrier-free environments, promoting the rights and responsibilities of parents, educators, and learners, providing effective development programs for educators, fostering holistic and integrated support provisions through intersectorial collaboration, developing a community-based support system, developing funding strategies that ensure that we readdress our historical disadvantaged communities and institutions. While there are clear plans in place by government to create an inclusive education system in the future, there are still many challenges that we face daily. To address some of these issues, various companies and organizations have several initiatives in place to tackle these barriers and provide opportunities for persons with disabilities to gain skills and qualifications. Some of these solutions include educational bursaries and facilitating skills development through learnerships and promoting small business owned by persons with disabilities. Inclusive education is an important step towards achieving social justice and equality in education by providing equal access and opportunities for all learners. We can create a more just and equitable society. If you would like to find out more about how we can address these challenges to create a welcoming and accessible learning environment, please feel free to visit our DASA One-Stop Access solution, which strives to promote equality for persons with disabilities in South Africa. Or contact DASA on 021 761 4831 or cell 084 504 9176. Alternatively, you can email us on info@dasa.org.za or visit our website at www.disabilityinfosa.co.za.